Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. This story is just heating up, and I promise you, what's happening right now could be one of the most significant moves for the Falcons in recent memory. We all know how tough this division is, with teams fighting tooth and nail for playoff positioning, but the Falcons are making a bold statement, and it's all centered around their pass rush. If you've been paying attention to the NFL news lately, you've probably seen the buzz about the Falcons' aggressive approach to bolstering their defensive front. And trust me, it's not just talk. It's about making a real splash in the trade market, especially considering their current situation on the interior defensive line after Taquan Graham went down with an injury in Week 3, putting him on injured reserve with a calf injury. That injury left a noticeable gap in the Falcons' pass rush, which was already a concern earlier in the season. But now, the Atlanta Falcons are targeting a game-changer, a player who can elevate their entire defense and more specifically their pass rush, none other than Cleveland Browns star edge rusher Myles Garrett. That's right, the Falcons are reportedly eyeing Garrett, one of the most dominant pass rushers in the league today. And it's not just idle chatter. According to reports from Adam Schefter, the Falcons are actually in serious discussions with Cleveland about a blockbuster trade. The proposed deal? A first-round pick in the 2026 draft, along with rookie edge James Pierce Jr., a promising young player who's shown flashes of potential in his rookie season. Now, this is a bold move. The Falcons are clearly willing to invest significant assets to upgrade their pass rushing unit, which has been performing decently, but needs that extra punch to really threaten opposing quarterbacks consistently. Their current sack rate, around 2.5 sacks per game, isn't bad, but they want more. They want to be a true force on defense, especially in a division where every sack and every pressure counts. And let's look at Garrett's impact for a moment. This guy isn't just any edge rusher. He's a 5-time All-Pro since entering the league in 2017 as the first overall pick, and he's been a nightmare for quarterbacks ever since. In 2025, he's been exceptional, recording 6 sacks and 36 pressures over just 5 games. His PFF grade? A staggering 92.8, which puts him among the top 2 edge rushers in the league right now. His win rate in pass rush situations? About 22%, and he's averaging 2.5 QB hits per game. When you watch Garrett play, it's clear he's a combination of power, technique, and relentless intensity. He's been a force in the league, with a career total of 90 sacks and 17 forced fumbles. His ability to generate pressure, especially in rip moves, is phenomenal, and he's known for his strength and explosiveness, which allow him to beat double teams and create chaos in the backfield. Now, the Browns, on the other hand, have their own reasons for moving Garrett. With just about $10 million in cap space and a defense that's allowing around 30 points per game, they're in a bit of a rebuild mode. Cleveland's defense has struggled this year, especially with their pass rush, which is averaging about 4.5 sacks allowed per game. Their offense, led by quarterback Deshaun Watson, hasn't quite lived up to expectations either, with Watson completing only 54% of his passes, throwing 3 touchdowns against 9 interceptions. It's a tough season for the Browns, and they're clearly prioritizing extensions for Watson and their offensive line, which has been giving up way too many sacks. Moving Garrett, despite the huge impact he has, makes sense from a cap and rebuild perspective. They're looking to acquire draft capital, like that first-round pick in 2026, and a rookie like James Pierce Jr., who's shown promise with 2 sacks in his rookie campaign to help them rebuild the front 7. But for the Falcons, this isn't just about acquiring a star. It's about transforming their entire defensive identity. Imagine what Garrett can do paired with Jalon Walker, a promising rookie linebacker who averages over 4 pressures per game. Walker's presence, combined with Garrett's elite pass-rushing ability, can turn Atlanta's front into a nightmare for quarterbacks. If Garrett joins the Falcons, experts project his impact to be enormous, roughly adding 4 sacks per game to their total, which would significantly boost their pressure rate from around 30% to nearly 48%. That kind of jump in pressure is game-changing, and it would make Atlanta's defense not just better, but downright intimidating. And it's not just about sacks. Garrett's presence would open up opportunities for other players, creating more opportunities for hurried throws and disruptive plays. His ability to win one-on-one matchups, especially in rip moves, is outstanding. His win rate in those situations is around 25%. Plus, his addition would help the Falcons contain opposing run games better, raising their run stops by roughly 20%, based on his career win rate of about 23%. Think about the impact on a team that's already fighting hard. Garrett's addition could elevate Atlanta's entire front seven and turn them into one of the most feared defenses in the league. Now, what does this mean in terms of playoff chances and Super Bowl hopes? Well, the odds have already shifted quite a bit. FanDuel has the Falcons' Super Bowl odds jumping from +15, 0 to +5, 500 with this potential move. That's a huge leap, reflecting how much Garrett's presence could influence their playoff run. Historically, players like Garrett, who have been dominant in the postseason, tend to make a real difference. His career postseason stats include 2 7 sacks per game, so having him on the field in December and January could turn close games into wins for Atlanta. And looking at other similar moves in recent years, like Khalil Mack's trade to the Bears in 2018, which added over 170 pressures that season, Garrett's impact could be just as profound. His ability to force turnovers, pressure the quarterback, and disrupt the offense is elite, and it's exactly what the Falcons need to make a deeper playoff run. Of course, all of this hinges on the trade actually happening before the deadline on November 4th. The Falcons are clearly positioning themselves as serious playoff contenders, and bolstering their pass rush is a strategic move to make sure they're not just flirting with the postseason, but actually dominating once they get there. If they succeed in landing Garrett, they instantly become one of the most improved defenses in the league, and that could be the missing piece to their Super Bowl puzzle. But it's also a gamble for Cleveland, as they look to rebuild and acquire the draft capital needed for their future. It's a classic case of two teams with different priorities coming together for a deal that could reshape the NFC South and the entire league. So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Is this the move that takes your team from good to great? Can Garrett's addition elevate Atlanta to a Super Bowl contender? And Browns fans, what's your take on the trade? Are you comfortable moving on from Garrett in hopes of building a stronger, more balanced roster? Whatever your thoughts, I want to hear them. Drop your comments below, because this is going to be one of the most talked about trade stories of the season. And as always, I'll be back soon with more updates and insights on the Atlanta Falcons and the NFL in general. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep this football conversation going. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and TO, the Atlanta Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news.